So the three goals that I chose to work on for this task is the first one's providing scales and rubrics, the second one tracking student progress, and the third one asking in-depth questions of reluctant learners. The reason I chose these goals is because when I did my self-assessment, these were my three lowest areas, and these are three areas that I truly believe are of great importance to students. I teach ninth grade Algebra 1, and usually by this time of year or by this grade level, most students believe that they just cannot do math and they feel like failures, and I want to change that. Providing scales and rubrics, I've never, to be honest, I've never really been good with creating a rubric, creating a scale. In the past, math assignments have just been, right or wrong answers, but there's so much more to it. Reasoning through the problem, using correct math vocabulary. Maybe they used a proper procedure, but they made a little miscalculation. So I want to provide these students with a rubric that shows them if you give me your very best effort, it's not just all about right or wrong. You do get some credit for the effort that you're putting into it, and I think they need a scale or a rubric to show them the growth that they are receiving. That leads into my next goal, which is tracking student progress. I want to show these students that they are progressing, that they have learned something. So I'm in the process of creating a processing sheet. As a math group, we have identified essential standards and learning targets, and we are now creating tracking sheets that will show this, the students can actually track themselves and determine, where do they feel that they fall as far as understanding and learning the learning targets. So that's something that I really think is important to show students they are succeeding in some areas and what areas they may need to show some improvement, that they might need a little extra help, whether that be interventions, whether that be a little extra study time, but to get students to take ownership of their learning. The last learning target that I picked, or sorry, not learning target, learning goal that I picked was asking in-depth questions of reluctant learners. I've always struggled with this because I do not ever want a student to be embarrassed by being called on for something that they might not truly understand um, the math concept. So I've tended to kind of shy away from reluctant learners because I'm afraid that if I embarrass them, then they'll shut down on me completely. But research has shown, and other areas that I have read, that I'm actually hurting them by not giving them an opportunity to show their thinking and to let them demonstrate that even though their answer might not be correct, it's okay because we can learn from that mistake. We can reason through and understand why that's not correct, and which in turn would lead to deeper learning for them. So that is a definite growth area for me. I don't want to uh, ask questions of the same students who are always providing answers. I want to get those reluctant learners involved in the process as well. So those are the three areas that I'm working on. I am deliberately marking students of the reluctant learners who I do want to start focusing on, whether that even be just walking around and looking at their work. And if I see they're on the right track, ask them the question, ask them to explain their thinking to others and give them some success. Um, Tracking student progress. We're working on those sheets, and I want students to see it's not all about a letter grade. They need to track their own progress and what goes into that letter grade maybe. And then providing scales and rubrics, they can fully see what is expected of them. So those are the three areas that I am working on.